We are so glad that you could make our time to join us on today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is AMYMAT Matuloko. How's our week been and how is business going? We want to seize this opportunity to wish our Muslim compatriots Ramadan Kareem. Last episode on Tax Matters, we continued with our own contribution to the efforts to set an agenda for the Muhammadu Buhari administration, especially in the area of taxation, which is our forte on this program. More of that will come to you on today's episode, along with an update on the efforts being made at the FIRS to automate the system, to bring on board the use of technology for better service delivery. The program is Tax Matters, and my name is AMYMAT Matuloko.
Every day, my people dey for work. Some dey do office work, some get it them own business. So all of them want good road, constant power for better life. Whether na office work, oh yeah, pay your tax. Whether na your own business, oh pay your tax. If you want a better life, oh pay your tax. Now your civic responsibility, pay your tax. Better soup, now money cook am. Oh yes. Nothing goes for nothing, my brother. If you want potable water, security and hospital for make life jolly.
That's right. Good roads, good hospitals, portable water, adequate security all come from taxpayers' money. Play your part in making Nigeria great. Everybody, small scale, big companies, entrepreneurs, do the right thing. Pay your tax. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS.
What do we suggest for the new government concerning revenue generation?
The new government should recognize that tax is the oxygen of any nation. The countries that are doing well anywhere in the world are the countries who prioritize taxation. And we have done so before in the past, before we struck oil. So Buhari's government will do well if it's able to focus on taxation as the means of diversification. The tax ratio to GDP should go up. And the way to go is not to think that they can do something in a hurry, bring some consultants together. That will not be far-reaching. They need to attack it from the policy dimension, the legal dimension, and the administrative dimension. To set the ball rolling, I think they should start with a tax study group. Put together experts from multidisciplinary background who will advise government on what to do on the long run. Because the good thing about tax revenue is that is the only money that will come in peacetime, in depression, during prosperity, and government can always bank on it. And for me, this is the real diversification that we need, together with all other intervention in agriculture, in manufacturing. But tax is the key, is the oxygen of every nation.
Sir, you are a past president of the CITN. Do you think taxation can play any role in getting this country out of the dire circumstances in which it presently finds itself?
Well, thank you very much. The Nigerian economic problem is a big problem. I would say a pre-problem because our economy is dependent on oil. So many companies are springing up because of the existence of oil, of the oil sector. So if the oil sector is troubled, other companies that are dependent will be troubled. And these are the companies you tax. If they are not in existence, who do you tax? So I don't see taxation as a total way out of our economic problem. But I see it as part of a solution to our problem. We cannot say the tax administration in Nigeria is very bad. The system is not bad. The system is there. But when you look at other factors, other components of Nigerian economy that are not doing well, like if you take, for instance, the energy sector, is already taking its toll on the taxpayers. So this is in fact, a lot of people are losing their job as a result of closure of the major employers of labor. Who are the taxpayers? The company, the individuals. What I would expect the government to do in order to stimulate the economy, if we can lower the order in terms of a tax and address the energy sector, the power sector, bring people back into employment, then you create a very big, a wider tax base. You have enough people in employment will pay tax, company will post good returns and they pay tax. It is not only a tax issue, but it's a holistic thing that a government must take together. This exportation of our crude and all, why don't we process and export and keep people in employment? Exporting crude oil to me is exporting employment opportunities out of Nigeria because so many products are gotten out of a crude. So what if we create the companies that process this and put people in employment? We'll be able to conserve a lot of money, put a lot of people in employment and eliminate joblessness.
Part of our suggestions to improve on the revenue earning capacity of the nation is for the government to make sure that corruption is totally eliminated. Number 2 is to make sure that there is voluntary compliance by people. So the people need to be sensitized. And basically, the pro quo principle of taxation must be put into practice, whereby when people pay their taxes, government must be ready to give back to the people. And again, power is very important. Government must make sure that there is provision of light, because if there is power generation, automatically there will be employment creation. Because if you go around town now, you find out that majority of people that ride bicycles or tricycles are artisans, but because there is no power, a lot of them have abandoned their basic jobs. And also the taxation of the informal sector, the government must work on this. A large portion of the population has not been brought into the tax net. Because of this, the government is losing a lot of revenue. So we must bring the informal sector into the tax net. Also, we need to ensure security of lives and properties. We have seen over the years that, especially in the northeast, because of the Boko Haram volatile attacks, I doubt if tax collectors can even go to these areas to collect taxes. So if there is security of lives and properties, government will be able to collect taxes. And when those taxes are used to maintain law and order, to provide basic amenities for the people, there will be life will be meaningful, and investors will be attracted into the economy.
We believe in CITN that if government should invest in the administration of taxes in this country, of course, they are going to reap the benefit.
When you are talking about investing in the tax system, what are you talking about?
Naturally, you have government, investing in so many other sectors. You have the mine sector, you have the oil and gas sector, you have the agricultural sector, you have so many other sectors. But until about 2006 and 2007, when we started having autonomy for the tax offices, you go to some tax offices and you be ashamed to call yourself a tax professional, because you have broken chairs, demoralized, deflated personnel, untrained personnel. But as time goes on, and we have government now getting interested in the Nigerian tax system, there has been a lot of changes coming up. But it's not still, we're not yet there. We need to have more professionals coming into the system. And that means the tax offices should be able to recruit, should be able to train and fire them. Then they should have the government political will. Because it does not really make any good if a tax or a revenue officer does a particular assessment, and that assessment is reversed without any good cause by whoever is in power. So we are looking at a situation whereby the government will give the revenue authorities the required support, the required cooperation Sometimes ago, some consultants were being paid as high as 25%, 30%. If those monies are channeled to the tax administrators, I'm sure they will do much better. We are talking about tax education. People don't know what exactly tax is all about. And it's not as if we are not willing to pay. Nigerians do go out and they pay taxes, but they don't know where to pay. They are not even, they don't even know where the offices are. They don't know the authorities that are supposed to pay to. We are talking about technology. For God's sake, you cannot be carrying papers up and down in this 21st century. Technology has gone beyond that. We are talking about, bringing in some other areas that will assist the revenue in terms of maybe intelligence, creating an intelligence unit. Pull the tax revenue out of the civil service and then really pump some money into it. It is only then that we can say we are really going to get the benefits.
How can taxation come to the rescue?
People lose sight of the fact that government should be run as a business. Any business, if your primary income stream is under threat and is being taken away, as we heard at this conference, by virtue of the shale gas developments in America, the Nigerian state has lost one of its principal customers. Its income stream is under threat from other competition in terms of oil producers within Africa as more discoveries are coming on stream. Now, government in those circumstances has to think like business people think. If my primary source of income is going away, what else can I do? Now, for governments, what should be their principle? You see, oil should never have been the primary. The primary one should always have been tax. That should have been it, because this is how all developed countries operate. Their tax revenue is the primary income stream of government, and everything else is secondary, because tax is permanent. Now, we've lost sight of that. Our governments over the years have not put the systems in place to make sure that in the same way as oil companies extract oil, governments extract tax revenues from all and sundry. Governments has to think in business terms. Think like, forget that you're government. Imagine this is your livelihood. You, the chief executive, and I'm addressing now the president, you, the chief executive of this corporation called Nigeria PLC. Now your primary income stream is going. What are you going to do? You've got to turn to tax, and this is why Tax Matters, this particular program, is so fundamental in order to inculcate the philosophy, the practice, the custom of paying tax, because it's vital to all of us. And as was brought out in the conference, it's one thing to extract the tax from the people, but it's also critical that the tax is applied to its proper purposes. Because if people can see that the tax that's been extracted from them is being reinvested, because we're all stakeholders in Nigeria PLC, if we can see that the tax that's been extracted from us, as if we're like investors, but our investment contribution is being plowed back in and not leaking away, then the future bodes well. So Tax Matters, the program, please carry on. Excellent work so far, and I hope this broadcast gets through right into the middle of Aso Rock. It's critical that they listen to what Tax Matters has to say and everything that has been said by the Chartered Institute of Taxation today.
What an endorsement of the program there. We are floating on air. But seriously, like was said in that car advertisement a long time ago, there's nothing more to add. So the question is, what are they doing at the Federal Inland Revenue Service to assist Aso Rock in doing the needful? Plenty, especially in the area of technology, in the area of automating the system. We have on set with us a director at the Federal Inland Revenue Service in the person of Mr. Agbolaga Oshiga, Director, Lagos, Mainland, West and East of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. When this interview was conducted way back in March, Mr. Oshiga was the director in charge of the Project Management Office Tax, which supervised the Integrated Tax Administration System, ITAS. Mr. Oshiga, you're welcome to Tax Matters. Yes, sir. What exactly is ITAS all about? And is it peculiar to Nigeria, or how does it relate to what operates in other developed tax economies?
To start with, ITAS means Integrated Tax Administration System, and it is all about automating tax processes within Federal Inland Revenue and also taxpayers who will be filing returns. In other countries, especially developed world, they have automated their tax administration, and Nigeria is also trying to move up to the ladder in order to ease tax administration aspect of taxation. So for now, we are trying to automate all the processes. For some time, since 2007, we have automated payment through bank portals. But now, all other aspects of administration, assessing, registration, is now being automated under ITAS.
When did it take off?
The project was actually approved by Federal Executive Council in December 2010. Okay. And it actually took off in September 2011.
Okay. We understand that it is phased into stages. At what stage are you now?
There are two stages to it. Implementation of core tax processes and implementation of module supporting services, that is refund, objection, and audit. Those are the second phase. We have completed the implementation of the core tax processes, that is assessment and payment. But the other peripheral modules, such as objection and refund processes, will be completed by end of April 30.
Okay, so what would you say is the level of success that I've achieved?
It has been a success story, but the issue which we are trying to grapple with now is that of the multiple currency which Nigerian law permits. Tax has to be rendered in the currency of transaction. Okay. And in most other countries, what they do is that they file in the currency of that country. Okay. Unlike in Nigeria, that you have to file in the currency of your transaction. Okay. So we are trying to customize the solution which we obtain from a Canadian company, CRC Sojema. And since they are meeting for the first time the issue of multiple currency filing, they have to go back to drawing board. But they have assured us that by April 30, they will have completed the customization. So we can deploy to our oil and gas station in Lagos. That is the large tax offices in Lagos that deals with oil and gas indoor sector. So in that place, we will have implemented fully the core modules of the solution.
We have followed your team from event to event where you have had to present the ITAS platform, the ITAS project to stakeholders. And we keep hearing about ITAS Go Live. What do you mean by ITAS Go Live?
When we say we are going live in a particular office, it means taxpayers that are domiciled in that office could actually file on the platform of SIGTAS. That is ITAS. Okay. And they can also do e-filing. Okay. But we have not actually cut off from the old system until the last FRS office go live, when we will now cut off from the old system of a web portal. Okay. So that is what we mean by go live. It means the office is ready to accept taxpayer on e-filing. And also they are ready to register taxpayer on ITAS. Okay. That is what is meant by go live. And it is from that day we go live in that office that they start moving all the taxpayer in the offices from the old system to the new system.
What is that old system?
The old system is the manual type, where assessment is raised manually and returns are filed on hard copy. Okay. That is the old system. Okay. And also, contact with tax office is only through hard copies of letters, and it must request the taxpayer to physically be in the office. That is the old system.
The new system, I don't have to come. I just do everything online.
The new system, you can file your returns from your house without stepping out. You can make payments from your house without even going to the bank. And if there are issues to be sorted out, you can sort it out through the internet. You don't necessarily have to come to the tax office. If you want tax clearance certificate, you can generate it from your room, from your office, from any part of the world. If there are no issues such as unpaid taxes, tax clearance certificate will be issued to you, and you can print it out in your house.
Are you talking for real?
Yes.
That's El Dorado. Okay. Now, if I am not computer savvy, if I belong to the old school, and my tax office, that is the office that I file my returns through, has gone live, can I choose to still use the old system? Or must I cut over to the new system?
Meanwhile, you can still file the old system. There are officers in the office that will upload your returns for you as sort of help desk in each of the offices that we have gone live. So over time, we will provide services for people who cannot do it on their own. So they will be able to cash on later. Whenever they can do it, then they are free to do it on their own. There is no law right now that says one should file only electronic copy. But when you now realize what you stand to gain, if you can do e-filing, it will save you man-hours. Then you will be forced to join. And the issue of people saying, I travel out of the country, that was why I could not file my return. That will be a thing of the past. You can file your return from any part of the world, and you will get it and respond to you anywhere you are. Those are the benefits one stands to gain by enrolling on e-filing.
How many offices have gone live?
Okay, we are still dealing with pilot offices.
Which are those offices?
We have a large tax office in Lagos mainland. That's at Agidingbi Road. We have one at Awolowo Road, large tax office. Then we have 3 large tax offices that are mainly for oil and gas. That is upstream, downstream, and services. We have already rolled out ITAS in such offices. But for the oil and gas, we have not fully rolled out because of the multi-currency issue I spoke about, which we intend very soon to surmount. In Abuja here, we have gone live in a large tax office, and also we say micro and small tax offices.
Oh, you have come down to the small boys.
So before end of March, May 31st, we are planning to go fully live in all the offices in Lagos.
All the offices?
All the offices
micro,
in Lagos
small,
before
medium,
May
and
31st.
Large.
All of them. We have actually even obtained all the relevant data of all those services. So we are trying to see where there are double registration, because in the old system there are some companies that are having more than one thing, that is tax identification number. So we don't want to continue with that. We want to ensure that it is not possible for any company to have more than one tax identification number. That is why we have not been able to go live fully in all the offices. We are doing data cleansing to be sure that all the data we are going to put into the new system are clean.
From Lagos, where do you go? When are you going to go? Because the large tax office caters for those companies that have turnover of 1 billion naira and above. Medium tax is 199 million or 200 million to 999 million. So when are you going out of Lagos to the small boys?
After Lagos, we come back to Abuja. We are using those services as pilot. Okay. The beauty of it is that the moment we fully got 100% success story in those pilot offices, moving to all other offices will not be a difficult issue. But where we have most of the taxpayers are in Lagos and Abuja. And by the time we are able to cover those 2 places, we will have covered at least half of the offices of FRS. And in terms of even collection, we will have covered collection of about 75% in terms of Naira. Then going to other regions, that will not be difficult. So it will just be a matter of cleansing their data and then rolling out to those people, which we will achieve before the end of this year, December 31st, God willing.
You spoke about 100% success. What will make you say that your experiment, so to say, in this pilot office has been a success? What would make you say so?
When all the taxpayers in that office are subscribed to e-filing, and also they can make their payment without going to bank, and that is what I mean by success.
So that is what the taxpayer stands to gain. Yes. Filing from anywhere in the world, payment from anywhere in the world. As you can see, it is the dawn of a new era in tax administration in Nigeria. Because of time constraints, however, this feature on the use of technology in better service delivery will have to continue next week. On that episode, in that concluding part, Mr. Oshiga will be providing answers as to what is required of the taxpayer to be able to do electronic filing of tax returns and, of course, electronic payment of taxes. We thank you most sincerely for watching. Have a blessed week ahead.